Hey y'all! I'm here today to talk with Paul Ravella, owner of Pro Physique, and we are going to talk about our thoughts on off-season cardio. Hey y'all! So I know I've been super MIA. I'm really sorry. I know, I'm the worst. I always say the first thing that goes whenever I'm prepping and I'm busy is YouTube, which is not fair to everyone, but we are back and we actually wanted to do 2 videos, one for my channel, one for Paul's, to kind of piggyback off each other's like concepts, but different within the same. We share a lot of the same viewpoints, as a lot of you guys know. We travel a lot together, we do a lot of things together, and so we wanted to make these videos. So today we're going to talk about cardio in the off season and kind of how our opinions have changed. I would say that as a coach over the past few years, and I would probably say the same for you, every year we kind of develop new ideas, try new things, and we change our opinions. And you know, some coaches never do, and then there's certain things that are never really going to change, and then other things I think that should change over time, like your opinion.
Absolutely.
Otherwise you're probably not really progressing as a coach, right? So one thing that both of us have kind of done now is kept some cardio in the off season. I'm relatively new to my off season. It's only about week 5 or 6. You've been off season for a while now, but little backup story. So I only used to do HIIT cardio for prep and add in a little bit of moderate. So by the time my show was over, I would be super burned out, because you know what it feels like to do a lot of HIIT. And then a little, you just feel terrible. So I would pretty much cut it out cold turkey, and I'd be like, I don't want to do any cardio, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd start the cycle over again with the prep, and then it would be really hard to get into the cardio. It'd be really like taxing, whatever. So this year Ryan was like, let's try moderate intensity first. Then we'll add in HIIT once you're in better shape. Actually worked out amazing. I actually do this for all my clients now, and I really enjoyed it. I actually cut all HIIT out completely, even at the end, the last like 4 weeks, and I just did moderate. Part of that was injury related, part of that was just I didn't feel like I needed it. So now I've kept a little bit in because I don't feel so burned out from it, and so sometimes I'll only do 10 minutes, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to go for a 30-minute walk, or whatever, you know what I mean?
We even used cardio like on some of our trips. Instead of getting an Uber, we would walk. Like in Miami, we walked like
45 minutes.
2 miles, 3 miles to get to the gym, just because, that's that extra calorie burn that you don't have to necessarily account for. And you get the benefits from that.
Yeah, there's health benefits. There's also obviously caloric benefits. So when you are traveling, particularly, we like to walk a lot, because then we're usually eating more, and then it, you just feel better. You get to see more, things like that. But in the day-to-day life, I would say that I feel better keeping a little bit of cardio in.
Absolutely.
And again, not like, I'm not talking like you're gonna fall off the Stairmaster because you're so tired and exhausted. Like, that's not the kind of cardio I'm talking about. Everyone who followed my prep knows that I walked a lot. Again, part of that was injury related, and I just kind of had to adapt, and that's what didn't bother me. But I genuinely started to enjoy that, and I've kept it in. And now I'll either walk or bike or something before I work out, or sometimes I'm like, oh, it's nice out. Let me go.
I think our views have changed on cardio for a few reasons, and the longer you're involved in this sport, the more it's necessary that it becomes a part of your lifestyle and not an all or nothing approach. Like, I'm either in prep or I'm not in prep. Either I'm going to crush a diet and cardio, or I'm going to do 0 cardio and 0 diet. Whereas we've kind of adapted into a place where, as long as we intend to keep competing, we want to put our bodies in a great position to do so. And if you hate cardio and you're miserable doing it, then maybe you don't do it. But for the off-season purposes, there's just so much value. The real value I get out of it, I actually enjoy doing a little bit every day, every now and then, but the real value I've noticed is that I tend to recover from my training sessions quicker, and I feel better and looser without having to do lots of mobility work. I can actually do a cardio session every couple days and feel like it reduces some inflammation in my joints, especially in legs.
Stan talks about that all the time. He would always bike after hard training sessions.
I noticed it during contest prep years ago, but I just associate it with contest prep. Like, oh, I'm just being better about my supplements, I'm being better about my diet. That's why it was actually a lot to do with the fact that I was doing cardio on a regular basis. You're getting, blood into the muscles, into the joints, into the soft tissues, and there's benefits for that in the off season. So I'm a big believer in keeping some cardio in off season. And I think a lot of people actually enjoy doing cardio, but they're afraid. They'll actually email me and say, hey, is it okay if I go for a hike?
So there's a few caveats, right? For clients who really dislike cardio, I'm not going to force someone to do something in the off season because then they're gonna hate it in off season and they're gonna hate it even more in prep, right? So for them, if they tell me like, you know, I'm really inactive and I just like weight training and and then they're saying that they're getting like gassed during their workouts. Okay, maybe you add in some drop sets, maybe like a circuit day or something. So it's something that's intensifying your workouts. You're getting, you know, the heart rate benefits, but it's still not the same thing as doing cardio. But regardless, if you really, really hate it, I'd say don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If you're somebody who is somebody who's competing really, really regularly, I would suggest still decreasing the cardio. I did this with my clients. Again, the number is very different to everyone.
Yeah.
But if you're coming into a prep and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing 3 hours of cardio a week, then I'm kind of like, well, maybe that's not the best, you know, the best idea either. So again, unless you're training, you're like a dual athlete, you're training for marathons or 5Ks or something like that, I think it's less appropriate to do a ton of cardio, but just do a little bit, sprinkle it in, and you know, I keep it pretty low intensity. Like I said, I do walking and biking, and it works. It works really good for me. But yeah, I usually try to keep most people between that 0 to 60-minute range if they're trying to compete beforehand, because then when you add it in, it's a nice stimulus.
Have you found these to be helpful?
I found this to be helpful not for cardio, because unless your arm is moving, so like when I'm walking, it's like totally fine. If I'm biking and I'm holding on to something or whatever, like it doesn't track that you're moving. Like right now, this is tracking, which isn't, so it's not cardio. But I like this for activity. I find it extremely helpful for activity, and this was so important during prep because we all have those sloth mode days, and it gives you kind of like a nice target, because like midday I can look and go, oh, I've only hit this many, like that's not good, you know what I mean? And now I'm not gonna go run around my house to make up for it, but maybe like the next day I'll try to be more conscious of it. And it also, your thing does it too, right? Where it like dings, like you need to get 50 steps.
I like it for a few reasons. I like it for the fact that, like you said, consistency. Like I can tend to get in that mode where I'm sitting at my desk all day, and it will let you know, hey, get up and move your fat ass. And so I will. I'll even just do jumping jacks, or maybe I'll grab my son, go outside.
I know he does that.
Ride bikes, whatever it may be. But I like it for the consistency, whereas if I notice, for example, I get about 4,000 steps a day. Well, I went on a trip for the LA Fit Expo, and I was averaging between 16 and 18,000 steps per day when I was there, and I came home.
You only get 4,000 a day usually?
Yes, I work from home.
I know, so do I. I'm like ADD though.
So I lost 4 pounds on that trip, and mind you, I was eating out. I was being mindful of my food, but I definitely was not like hitting low numbers. I was actually eating very freely, and I was around some people that were prepping and the fitness lifestyle. So it was just a good balance. But when I came home and noticed I lost 4 pounds, I thought, I really enjoyed being there, doing all that stuff. So I'm looking at ways now that I can incorporate more walking into my life. Maybe going outside and doing phone calls on my Bluetooth headset while I walk around, speaking to clients, planning meetings for when I'm going to be on a bike or a treadmill, so that I can actually, to kind of multitask. So there's the term cardio doesn't have to be an evil thing that you think of as a punishment or something that you only do when you're trying to get shredded.
We all have that distinct memory of when we're really depleted and really tired and we feel like we're gonna fall off the Stairmaster. Like that's not what we're talking about. First of all, if you're in an off season, you shouldn't be feeling like that anyway, no matter how hard your training session is. That's just like you're not doing it right. But you want to be properly fueled. You want to be recovering from workouts. So there's always a happy medium, like usual. I wouldn't say go do hours of cardio every day, but also you don't have to do none. So we kind of revisited that both this year, which I thought was cool. A lot of times we end up doing the same thing in a different way.
I love the term auto-regulation. It gets used a lot in training principles, but so what I'll basically do is every day I'll tell myself I'm going to do some cardio, and if I'm not in the mood, I might only do 5 minutes. And if I get on there and it's 10-15 minutes have passed and I'm still
enjoying it. We got a Gary Vee video on.
Yeah, literally Gary Vee or some other video, and it's just I'm in the mood, I'll just go 20-25 minutes and not feel guilty about it and not feel like I wasted my time.
Well, I've also been down during prep because I was doing quite a bit of moderate cardio during prep. Again, that was my preference and that's what was working for me. And I would download podcasts. So I'm really big on the podcast. So Tim Ferriss, my friend Gorilla Chemist has a really good podcast also, and then all the Super Training Powercasts. Those are now those are on iTunes also, so you can download them. So those 3 podcasts, I would listen to them, and some of them are really long, some of them are shorter, and some of them are really long. So I would break it up, but I had about 3 hours or so a week of moderate, So I would just put it in, okay, I'm gonna go for a 30 or 40-minute walk. And you're learning and it's enjoyable.
Yeah. You're multitasking.
But
so
yeah.
It's not like the old days where people would cover up the timer on the Stairmaster and just stare at the wall for 2 hours.
Now we have YouTube and podcasts.
I mean, or whatever, Netflix, whatever you're jamming.
And yeah, like for me, I'll save videos for cardio. Yeah. Like I'll save a Gary Vee video, I'll save a Stan Efford video.
People are doing cardio right now watching this video.
Yeah, I hope you are.
Pick up the pace.
But not too much, okay? Just enough. But yeah, no, like I will seriously save stuff. Ryan will send me stuff. He'll be like, oh, watch this video. I'm like, I'll do it later. It's 20 minutes. That's like a perfect cardio video.
I do the same thing with Ask Gary Vee. I'll save it for the days I'm going to do cardio.
So hopefully that was helpful. As usual, we go on a little bit of a tangent, but I think it's good. And, keeping activity up and, a little bit of cardio and can help you feel better, recover better, and just be in better overall shape, which will, again, translate better to training, translate better just to your life and moving. And so
Even if you just want to eat more food, burn some more calories, eat some more food. Whatever.
I'm all about that method of thinking.
Cardio is not the devil. No. If you can find a way to make it enjoyable, it doesn't have to be in a gym on a treadmill. It can be outside doing a hike.
Yeah. And if you like that, that's totally fine too. Because sometimes I just, I want to put the incline on the treadmill and I want to put my phone there and I want to watch something. Yeah. There's different times and places for everything. So hopefully this was helpful. And again, there's different exceptions for everyone. So don't take this as we're saying, do a whole bunch of cardio in the off season. Not what we're saying.
Right.
We're saying keep a little bit in, whatever works for you. Again, I'd recommend about 0 to 60 minutes.
We recommend, we've talked about it before, just so you know, like when a contest ends, we don't recommend stopping. We recommend tapering down your cardio, keeping it in and gradually reducing it, which I know can be hard, but the benefits of keeping that lean body composition and not putting the rapid body fat on are going to be something you are super happy about when the other people have put on 30 pounds in a week. So taper cardio as you gradually increase calories post-contest.
It's all about the balance of calories and expenditure. So if you're eating more, if you're somebody who would rather eat more, me, you're going to want to keep activity a little bit higher, right? And again, I wasn't finishing my prep this year saying, oh, I'm going to start competing again in a month. Like, I wasn't doing that. So I, kept cardio in less, but kept it in.
Yep.
And I actually felt good. I actually wanted to do it because I felt good. When you're dieting, you're like, oh, God, towards the end, you're like, I can't think about doing another cardio session. But I enjoyed it. I was eating more. And then now I'll taper it, accordingly. And I do the same thing for my clients. So.
Well, Laurin is back on the YouTube train, so all you
I actually wrote down me and Ryan wrote down a whole bunch of ideas last night, and they're really, really good. So I have to make them because they're really good.
That's what I want to hear. So you guys in the comments, make sure you let her know that you enjoy her video. I am going to shoot another video right now with her on my channel. The topic is going to be, what should your off-season body fat look like or be at? And we'll discuss that now, so we'll try to link them so they're
same time.
Yeah, so we'll
so you
post
have
these
two
together.
Cardio sessions.
Yeah, 2 sessions, riding the bus or doing cardio, whatever it is you prefer. So,
thank you all for watching, as always, and I promise to be back on here more regularly.
Bye.